Okay, so let's dive right in. We're looking at this huge frozen island that, has almost overnight become one of the most strategic places on the entire planet. This is a story about ice, it's about power, and it's about what happens when the future of the world literally melts wide open.
So you gotta ask, what is really going on here? I mean, why are superpowers like America, Russia, and China suddenly laser focused on Greenland? Well, we're gonna unpack this whole geopolitical mystery, and it all kicks off with a simple but massive paradox.
First off, let's just try to get our heads around its sheer size. We're talking about a landmass that's bigger than Mexico and Indonesia combined. It is just this vast, continental scale territory, and get this, 80% of it is buried under a super thick sheet of ice.
Okay, now for the paradox. The population of this enormous island? Just 57,000 people. I mean, think about that. That's fewer people than you'd find in a small city. And most of them live on this little narrow coastal strip where the ice isn't so thick. So, yeah, if it's basically empty, what is the big deal? Well, the recent buzz really kicked into high gear when former President Donald Trump just came right out and said, repeatedly and publicly, that the US should buy Greenland. His bluntness, even suggesting a military option, that's what suddenly threw this icy island onto the front page of pretty much every newspaper in the world. But here's the thing. This American fascination with Greenland, it's not some new eccentric idea. Not at all. It's an obsession that goes back more than 150 years, and it's deeply, deeply rooted in national security. And this timeline really tells the story. I mean, look at this. Right after the US bought Alaska from Russia back in 1867, they immediately tried to buy Greenland. Then they tried again in 1910. After World War II, President Truman offered $100 million in gold for it, and every single time Denmark said no. So you see, this isn't just a whim, it's a historic priority.
So why the obsession, right? It all boils down to one word: location. Greenland sits right at the top of the world. It's the absolute perfect spot for an early warning radar system. Think about it. Any missile flying from Russia to North America has to pass right over it. It is the ultimate strategic high ground. And that brings us to today. The big fear in Washington is losing that strategic foothold. See, Greenland has a growing independence movement. If it separates from Denmark, a new government could just demand the U.S. remove its critical military bases, or they could charge an astronomical price to let them stay. That uncertainty, that's a huge driver of America's renewed interest.
Okay, but military strategy, that's just the first layer of this onion. Because beneath all that ice lies a treasure trove of resources that could literally shift the entire global balance of economic power. And this right here tells a really powerful story about our modern world. Right now, China has a near monopoly on something called rare earth elements. And these are the minerals that are absolutely essential for, well, all of our advanced technology. We're talking everything from iPhones to fighter jets. And guess what? It turns out Greenland is sitting on one of the world's largest untapped reserves of these exact elements. We're talking neodymium for EV motors, gallium for AI chips, even uranium for nuclear power. For the US, getting control of Greenland would be a way to break China's economic chokehold on the future of technology. And hold on, that's not even counting the black gold. Geological surveys estimate there are at least 31 times billion barrels of oil locked under the ice and seabed, and that's just in northeast Greenland. The total amount could be way, way larger. Okay, so we've got security, we've got resources, but now we come to the final and maybe the most important layer of this whole thing. This is the one that could literally redraw the map of global trade. And it's the ultimate prize that very few people are actually talking about. You see, for hundreds of years, sailors and shippers have dreamed of a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific, right through the Arctic, the legendary Northwest Passage. But it was always blocked by this thick, impenetrable ice. Well, until now. Yeah, climate change is turning that dream into a reality. As the Arctic ice melts, this brand new sea lane is opening up. And just look at the difference. A cargo ship going from China to London could save 9,000 kilometers. That cuts 10 to 15 days off the journey and saves millions in fuel for just one trip. This is going to totally revolutionize global shipping. And this, right here, is Greenland's ultimate strategic prize. It sits right at the entrance of this new maritime superhighway. So think about it. Whoever controls Greenland effectively controls the toll booth for a massive chunk of all future world trade.
So, as you can see, the stakes could not possibly be higher. This isn't just about buying an island anymore. This is about controlling security, resources, and trade for the next 100 years. And a direct move by the US to take it, well, that could have absolutely explosive consequences for the whole world.
And here's the immediate problem, the really big one. Greenland is Danish territory, and Denmark, they're founding member of NATO. The core principle of that whole alliance is that an attack on one is an attack on all. So a forced takeover would mean one NATO ally is attacking another, which could literally shatter the most successful military alliance in history from the inside out. Experts warn of 5 really severe outcomes here, and each one triggers the next. Okay, first up, the US would become the undisputed Arctic superpower, creating massive friction with Russia and Canada. Second, centuries of trust between America and Europe would just be obliterated, fracturing the Western alliance. Third, America would seize control of those critical minerals, delivering a huge blow to China's tech ambitions. Fourth, the mad dash to exploit all these resources could trigger unchecked mining, absolutely devastating one of the planet's last pristine ecosystems. And finally, and this is maybe the most tragic, the indigenous people of Greenland would see their culture and their dreams of freedom completely crushed. But beyond all the immediate geopolitics, the real danger is the precedent this would set. It risks kicking off a whole new era of international relations, one where powerful nations just feel like they can take whatever they want from weaker ones. Basically, a return to the law of the jungle. And so that brings us to the final burning question we're all left with. As the ice melts, it's revealing more than just shipping lanes and resources. It's revealing a new global flashpoint. The fate of this one frozen island could very well determine the next 100 years of world history. So will it be a future of peaceful opportunity, or will it become the spark that ignites a new world war? We'll have to wait and see.